How's it going out there, everybody? Hope you're doing well wherever you are. Repeat movie viewer here to talk about my thoughts and opinions on movies to all my family and friends, anyone else who's willing to listen. Well, I got through my work days finally, so now I can finally start working on the other movies that came out this past week. So, Shelter. It's a new Jason Statham movie, I gotta be honest. I don't really know too much about this one. I feel like maybe I saw a trailer at some point, but otherwise I had to go on Wikipedia and just kind of look up the basic synopsis just to kind of get an idea as to what it was about. But aside from that, there are a few other familiar faces with this movie. You got Naomi Ackie, I believe is her name, and I know her, you might know her from Blink Twice. She was in that, and then she was in Mickey 17, came out last year. It was actually one of my favorite movies from last year. And then, of course, Jason Statham. I don't think he needs any introduction. If you don't know who Jason Statham is, then clearly you're not watching any movies in the last 20 plus years, because, yeah, he's been around since the early 2000s, so, but, you know, probably the more familiar movies he's been in case you don't know, is like the Transporter series. He was in the Fast and the Furious series as well. So, and the last 2 years, he's had like one action movie around this time of year. So, 2 years ago, it was The Beekeeper. I actually enjoyed The Beekeeper. Be honest with you, I wouldn't mind putting it in my collection at some point down the road. I just haven't acquired it because the Blu-ray copy that's out there, there's no bonus features. Come on, guys. You know I love bonus features. What are you doing? Anyway. But aside from that, last year was A Working Man. Not a bad action movie. I thought it lacked a little bit of substance, a little bit of story. But as far as Shelter is concerned, the only thing I really know, I think he's like a former Marine or somebody who was in the army or something like that, former soldier of some sort, ends up rescuing a orphan from like a storm, and then he's protecting her, and apparently he's going to be fighting a bunch of people that he knows from his past while protecting her. That's the basic gist of what I got. I debated on watching the trailer before going to watch the movie, which starts here in about 20 minutes or so. I thought about it, but I was like, you know what, the hell with it. If I hadn't seen the trailer by now, then forget it. I'll just go watch it and just be done with it. So, the hell with it. But one other thing I want to address on here. Going forward, anyone who's been supporting my TikTok for the past month or so pretty much knows that I put these videos out on TikTok, and in the past, I was putting out my initial review, my full-on thoughts after watching a movie on TikTok as well. But considering that the video for that is a little bit too lengthy for TikTok, in my opinion, going forward, what I'm going to do is the pre-movie thoughts that I typically do here, I will continue to put on TikTok. But from now on, aside from taking this video and then my thoughts, my review after the movie and putting them together on YouTube, that will continue. I will not put my full-on review on TikTok anymore. So going forward, if you see this video on TikTok, for all of you out there who have been supporting my TikTok, watching my videos, leaving likes, and I know who you are, I know who you all are, and I greatly appreciate it. I really do. I really do. But from now on, if you see this video on TikTok for any random movie going forward, then you know that my my actual review for said movie will be on the channel, hopefully within the same day, if not the following day or the day after. Very soon after, essentially, is what I meant. I could have compressed that a lot easier, but whatever. But I don't think there's anything else I need to say about Shelter. Like I said, I don't really have too much expectations. I mean, I know it's going to be an action film. I just hope it's a fun one. Hopefully it's got a decent story. I like a little bit of story to go along with my action film. I do. So, that's just me. But I'm going to go ahead and take off here in a second to go check out Shelter, and we'll see what we think. Several days later. Well... Shelter. Yeah, let's give it a thumbs up. Why not? What do you think? Thumbs up?
Yes.
Yeah, she gives it a thumbs up too. Okay, cool. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of the review, let's at least get the preliminaries out of the way. Feel free to like the video if you enjoy it. If you're new, please subscribe. There will be more content coming out in the future. And anything you want to say about the review, anything you want to say about the movie, if you have or haven't seen it, feel free to leave a comment. Now, before we get to the review, I want to share a quick little tidbit, a little funny story. So we went to the draft house. That's where we always go, right? 9 times out of 10. And after the movie was over, we found out they were doing a movie trivia contest in the lobby. And it was funny. There was a group of about, 7, 8 people sitting at a table, and this one woman sitting at another table, and they were competing against each other. It was like 8 against 1, which I thought that was funny. Mm-hmm. But we kind of just stopped to kind of watch it for a few minutes, and we became honorary members of the one-woman team. So, I don't think we really helped all that much.
Not really.
But it was fun to kind of be a spectator. But they asked us to stick around, so we kind of did, and we were there for a whole nother round. They did Pretty Woman. They were doing rom-coms, for the record. So, one cool thing though, at one point, the other team, when they won, there was like a little kid, and he decided to kind of just give away his prize, because they were, when you win, you get a bunch of different prizes, and it was this thing. So,
no, I think that one was the one she picked out.
I don't think so. No, this is the one the kid gave her.
I thought it was the glass. The one.
No, the glass she got. Oh shit. You know what? She is correct. I am incorrect on that. You know what? There you go. So, she actually won this and gave it to us. Thank you for clarifying that, because I was confused. Okay, so anyway, moving on. She decided she didn't really want it, so she gave it to me. So now I have a Snow White lunchbox. Nice metallic lunchbox. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why would you want a lunchbox for Snow White? Well, okay, to be fair.
It's a picnic basket.
It's a picnic basket. Hey, boo-boo.
Exactly.
It's a terrible impression, but whatever. Okay, I will admit, yes, the movie was not that great last year. It is what it is. But I do also collect some occasional popcorn buckets, and this is kind of up the same alley. And you know what? I thought about getting it because, I don't know, I kind of like the look. I like the apples on the front. I thought it was a nice design. And when you open her up, you got a little thermos to go with it. So what the hell? Why not? Why not?
Can't fit a sandwich in there.
Can't fit a sandwich in there, but you know what? Maybe a poison apple or two. Who knows? But you know what? I had originally thought or intended to maybe get one of those down the road once the price kind of went down. It kind of slipped my mind. Now I got it for free, so there you go. But moving on to the review. So, Shelter, directed by Rick Roman Waugh. Waugh. I don't think I'm pronouncing that right. And if I'm not, I apologize. This movie actually had a handful of producers, but one of them was also Jason Statham. So that's pretty cool. He has his own production company, as I recall. I forget the name.
Jason Statham. I think that is actually his production company name.
I'm pretty sure he gave it a different name. That'd be an interesting. Well, I guess it'd be fitting, but either way. So I was more or less spot on with the synopsis I brought up earlier. Essentially, you've got Statham's character lives on an island by himself. He's been there for a while. Doesn't really have anybody else outside of his dog. He does have occasional deliveries that are taken to the island. You got this guy on a boat with his niece. Drop stuff off, no big deal. One particular occasion, there's a bad storm. Her boat capsizes. He saves her. Unfortunately, she ends up being orphaned because the uncle ends up passing away. And this happens in the first 10 minutes of the movie. So I don't think that's a major spoiler. So basically, he takes her in, takes care of her, and pretty much the rest of the movie is him. While trying to help her, he ends up being seen on camera because apparently that's why he's secluded, because, there's some shit that happened previously in this about 10 years ago. He disappeared and, well, yeah. So now he's seen on camera. They know where he is. They know he's alive. So they go after him. So basically he's trying to protect himself and her while, so that's really the main stasis of the story. So yeah, this is a pretty fun movie. As far as some of the things I really enjoyed, I'll go right out and say it. The acting isn't too bad. I think the standout role goes to the little girl. What was her name again?
Her little name?
I swear, we had to look up how to pronounce her name. It's a pretty lengthy one.
Yeah.
I want to say she's Irish.
Brody. Wasn't it Brody, her first name?
You know what? I got it right here. It was Bodie Ray
Brothnick.
Brothnick?
Mm-hmm.
Again, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I hate it when I get people's names wrong. I really can't stand it. But she, in my opinion, is the standout role in this particular film.
Oh, Brett Knock. I'm sorry.
Brett Knock. Okay, it's Brett Knock. Anyway, she is definitely the standout. I mean, don't get me wrong. Everybody else in this movie, Statham does a good job, like always, like he always does. He always brings it. And all the supporting cast, they all do a good job with their roles. Everybody is hitting all the right marks and whatnot. But she is definitely the standout. I do dig the chemistry between these two actors. They work very well together, and she does have a few emotional moments. I think there was one particular moment in the movie that was like a very emotional moment for her. I think she handled it pretty damn well. I actually looked it up. Statham had a lot of good things to say about her during production, that she knew what she was doing. He expects more good things from her. She hasn't done a whole lot up until now. She's done a few TV shows. She actually was in Hamnet, which we actually saw earlier today. That review will be coming up very soon as well. She did a good job on that, and she's got a few movies coming up later this year. They're redoing Sense and Sensibility. Apparently, I've never seen the original, but with her in it, I might actually give this one a go. And Werewolf is supposed to be coming out later this year as well. It's like another werewolf movie. She's going to be in that. So definitely going to have my eyes on her going forward, for sure. And this is a Jason Statham movie, so naturally it is an action movie. This is the third action movie that's come out within the last 3 years. It's like, it seems like the last couple of years, there's always another one that comes out around this time. Interesting to note, she brought this up earlier, they're making a Beekeeper 2. I didn't think that movie needed a sequel, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. But as far as this movie is concerned, I do enjoy some of the action sequences that are happening. I thought there was some pretty decent choreography. I thought the editing was actually pretty decent, or pretty good, actually. There's so many times where I watch a movie and the pace, not so much the pacing, but the editing is so like quick cut, like you're constantly cutting while people are doing things, and it makes it kind of hard to keep up with it. It makes it difficult to follow it, but that wasn't the case here. I feel like the editing was actually pretty tight, and I never got confused. What about you?
Nope, I didn't get confused.
Pretty good? Okay. All right, that's cool. And there is one particular chase scene in the movie I thought was pretty decent between Jason Statham and this other guy who's chasing him throughout the movie, who essentially is supposed to be kind of the idea is that he's Jason Statham like 15 years prior. That's who he was back then. So, yeah, I thought that was an interesting dynamic as well. And quite frankly, I do appreciate that in this movie, there's a lot of different kills going on, and I appreciate the subtlety with some of the kills that are going on. What I mean by that is that there are so many movies that I've seen in my lifetime, especially the last so many years, even at Fantastic Fest, where anytime there's a whole bunch of killings going on, there's always an over-exaggerated amount of like blood being shot out whenever somebody gets cut or whatever, which I'm not complaining about that. I want to make that very clear. I'm not complaining about buckets of blood. I have no problem with that. But it's nice to have a movie that's a little bit more secluded, a little bit more grounded in reality, to where people are being killed and there's not, somebody gets cut on the shoulder and all of a sudden, I appreciate the subtle nature. It's fine. It's fine for what it is. And not every movie has to be like the fourth Rambo movie. Like, that movie was fucking carnage candy out the ass. Like, holy shit. But I think that pretty much does it for all the positive things I wanted to talk about. One thing I will address, I do need a repeat viewing of this, hopefully better sooner than later, because throughout a few different scenes in the movie, there were people behind us who were doing this bullshit a few times throughout the movie. And when there were certain bits of dialogue in some scenes that I wasn't really completely hearing. It was distracting as all hell. We've all been there. It happens. But it's like, I feel like there were certain story elements that I kind of missed out on because of that. So, yeah, definitely need to go back and rewatch it just to make sure that I fully understand everything that was going on. So, quite frankly, on the first viewing of the movie, I don't really have any major negatives about the movie. Nothing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way that I can think about right now, outside of what I just talked about. But I could definitely see some people watching this the first time, and the first 20 minutes, you can argue, can be a bit of a slow burn, so to speak. I can see people complaining about it, but me personally, I really appreciated the fact that for the first 20 minutes, not only do we get to see really the seclusion nature of Jason Statham's character, how he just wants to be alone. It's just him and his dog. They're doing their thing. He's, by himself or whatnot. And then after the little girl gets saved, we also get a little bit of time to spend with both of them being together, kind of get to know both their characters a little bit more, and to really kind of see the relationship, I should say, between these two characters. And I definitely appreciated that. But maybe on the second viewing, maybe I come up with some things that stand out. That happens. Sometimes the second viewing reveals things that maybe I didn't catch the first time, or I see things differently. It happens. No movie is perfect. I'm not perfect. All right, so don't adjust whatever it is you're watching this on. You're not seeing things. Yes, I am now clean shaven. I'm actually filming this a day after the initial recording for Shelter. Just a couple last things I wanted to touch on before I sign off. First off, we did mention before about Jason Statham's production company, which is called Punch Palace Productions. I gotta admit, that's actually pretty fitting considering the actor's work over the last 20 plus years. Kind of funny, actually. I had mentioned before that he had put out a movie, at least one movie per year for the last couple of years. But since I did the research on it, I want to clarify that's actually incorrect. His production company has been shooting out movies for the past 7 years, since 2019 with Hobbs and Shaw. And up until now, he has put out a handful of movies, almost one per year since then. And he actually does have other movies that are going to be released in the future. He's got things in the works. Not just The Beekeeper Part 2 that I mentioned, but there's another one coming out later this year. And then he even has a few others, aside from Beekeeper 2, coming out next year. So definitely be keeping an eye on that going forward. I might give it a couple of years, let a few more movies come out, and I might even do maybe like watch all the movies that have come out from his production company, do like a ranking. Something fun I can do down the road, assuming that this channel is still up at that time. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. All right, so my final word on this movie after the first initial viewing is that this is definitely a very average, run-of-the-mill type of action movie. If you like your action to be more in your face, bombastic, very much action-packed, definitely this movie doesn't fit that particular bill. But for me, I don't think it needs to. Going back to what I was saying before, the relationship between the two main characters is the main selling point for me. That'll be the thing, the aspect of the movie that will keep me returning and watching it again down the road. And I think at this point, I do feel like I will add it to my collection at some point down the road. Maybe not right away, but at some point it will be part of my collection. So that's my final word on that. If you're somebody who, like me, you don't have a lot of money to play with, maybe go try to catch it on a discount day. I know Cinemark and Draft House both have discount days. I know other theaters kind of do their own thing, but those are the two prominent theaters here where I live. So, and if anybody is wondering, well, how if you don't have a lot of money, how do you pay for your movies? Season pass. It's one of the greatest things in the world. All right, I think that's going to do it for today, and we'll go ahead and sign off here. So thank you very much for watching. I do greatly appreciate it. Feel free to like and subscribe. There will definitely be more content, more movie reviews, other stuff coming out in the future. But take care of yourselves, everybody. Please be safe. But don't forget to have fun. Just not too much fun.